When it comes to reading, I'm usually not a huge fan of romance books, but since it's finally summer, I decided I should probably give summer romances another try. So this week, I'm reading only summer romance books to see if they can rekindle my love for the genre. Get it? Because like, rekindle love, romance books. I started off the week by reading Haley Pham's debut novel, Just Friends. To be completely honest, I've devoured this book in the past day and a half, and it's been an unexpected delight. I've got about 50 to 60 pages left, so I really have been reading it quickly. I meant to update you guys sooner, but I just didn't really have a chance. I'm liking it a lot better than I thought I would. As a debut novel, for someone who has no writing experience, this has surprised me. We follow main character Blair. She's just moved back home. She runs into and eventually ends up working at the coffee shop that her ex-boyfriend works at. It's told in dual timelines. You're trying to figure out why they broke up and if they'll get back together. So far, I'm liking it a lot. I'm gonna give you guys my full review once I actually finish. Okay, it's been a few days since I finished Just Friends. A lot of people are hating on this book because it's a book by a YouTuber, and I don't think that's fair. I have read horrible romance novels that were debut novels. I have read even worse romance novels from romance authors that are like established. I think it's unfair to be upset with somebody who has used their platform to publish a book when there are people who take advantage of an existing platform as a writer, using that as an excuse to promote poorly written books. I feel like it's a bit of a double standard. That's all I'll say about that. This surprised me a lot. I would be lying if I said that I wasn't a little bit worried. From what I've seen, I don't think that she had intended to write a novel. Like, I don't think that she's been writing for a long time. So I was pleasantly surprised by this book. I enjoyed the romance a lot. It's a second chance romance told in dual timelines, which I usually don't really like that much, to be honest. But I feel like she did this quite well. I enjoyed the backflashes. I do wish that she had given us maybe a little bit more of the backflashes when everything comes to a head in both timelines. I feel like that came a little bit early. I think if she had built it up a little bit more, it could have been bigger and felt more rewarding towards the end of the novel. That's not to say it didn't feel rewarding, but I think that if she'd given us maybe a little bit more of the flashback scenes and then waited to build up a little bit more towards the central conflict, I think that that would have been maybe a bit better. However, this book also deals with a lot of themes of grief. The main character Blair loses her great aunt at the very beginning of the novel, and the entire rest of the novel is painted by her struggling through that grief. And that is like the key theme throughout their romance. Declan, the main male character, has had a similar experience losing something that he really loved, and so they both are angry and bitter about that in some ways, but can also understand each other really well because of their shared experience. I think she wove them together in a really skillful way that was both respectful of the grieving process and also respectful of the romance genre. Honestly, the grief elements of the book were more appealing to me and intriguing to me than the romance, just because I prefer literary fiction anyway, so those aspects felt like it was a young woman trying to figure out her life and figure out what to do, and I think that that was the most compelling part of this novel. I did like that the third act conflict wasn't a miscommunication trope. Praise the Lord, it wasn't a miscommunication trope. The main characters weren't stupid and they weren't making stupid decisions, and I really appreciate that. I think that's the reason I hate romance for the most part as a genre. This was a refreshing romance read. This is a 3.75, I would say. The highest I've ever rated a romance novel is 4 stars, so that's really high praise coming from me. Next up was A Summer of Broken Rules by Kale Walter. I'm one chapter into this book, and the main character is already pissing me off. Okay, hello everyone, I'm back again. I'm in the car right now because I'm dropping off my mom, but I wanted to update you guys. I'm kind of eating it up. I don't know what it is about this book. I don't know what switched in my mind. I filmed that clip talking about how the main character was insufferable and I didn't like it, and immediately after, I literally stayed up for like hours reading that book, and I'm almost done. I think I have like 2 chapters left, maybe. Whatever she put in that book is crack. No, I think I just had a long day and it was like nice to relax and read that, but the romance is kind of eating. I don't know how to explain it specifically. I really like the banter between the 2 main characters. They're super cute, and it also takes place in a 1-week time frame, and I really like when a book is like forced proximity or forced time frame. Like there's only a short amount of time or space for the characters to do something, so it feels kind of claustrophobic. I love that. I always fall for that trope in books. Okay, I have to go. The Summer of Broken Rules. This one I bought kind of on a whim, because I had seen the cover before and heard it was pretty popular, and I know I included that clip of me saying that the main character was pissing me off at the very beginning. I do not know what happened. I started to love this book for absolutely no reason. I read almost the entire book in one night and then finished the rest the next day. I think the premise of this book is very strong and very almost like campy in a way. It's a huge family who's getting together to celebrate a cousin's marriage. It takes place in the span of the week during wedding prep. this family always goes to Martha's Vineyard every summer, so that's where they are again, and they always have a game of assassin. Their family's huge, and it was chaotic, and it was great, and I loved it. Incredible, immaculate summer vibes from this book especially. I think when the setting and the summer vibes are really strong, the rest of the book doesn't have to be that good for me to enjoy it. I really like a book with a clear setting and a clear, fun premise. Also, the cover is beautiful. I love this cover. Anyways, we follow our main character, Meredith. It's been about a year and a half, I think, since she lost her sister. This is her first time coming back for this yearly family reunion since then. So she's kind of dealing with all of that. But the romance happens between her and one of her cousin's groomsmen, who she's never met before. It just kind of unfolds over the span of a week. I think the reason that I like this book so much, aside from the setting and the premise, in so many romance books, it's either a second chance romance, or it's enemies to lovers, or a fake dating trope, or something like that. It's some ridiculous circumstance, and it just feels gimmicky. This book is just two people who meet in Martha's Vineyard during a wedding vacation, and they end up liking each other. Like, that's so realistic. And so the premise itself is a little out there, but the core of the book, the romance, is grounded in reality and a realistic situation, and I think that's why I liked it. Also, it wasn't like they're trying so hard to play hard to get and they don't want the other one to know that they like each other. It is pretty clear from the beginning that they're at least interested in each other, and then they start forming a romance as you go on. Honestly, I loved the romance. I was eating the romance up. The banter is cute. It's clear that they are both caring people who are willing to listen to the other person, and so they both open up pretty quickly to each other about things. After I finished this book, I read some Goodreads reviews, and basically everyone was commenting on the fact that it was an insta-love story, which I would say is definitely unrealistic, but at the same time, it's like you think of a summer fling. At the end of it, you have to decide whether you actually like the person and want to pursue it or not. But they were way too into it for just 1 week. I still really like this book. I would say 4 stars. I decided to end off the week with Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. I want to be as transparent and as honest as I possibly can. I'm sorry if you can hear the birds chirping outside. It's not doing it for me. I DNF'd this book a few summers ago. I just didn't like it. And I try not to DNF books very often. Well, I really try to push through with books that I've bought specifically. This is one of the ones that I was like, I'm probably not ever going to come back to this. But it's been staring at me from my bookshelf, and so I figured this challenge would be the perfect time to do it. A summer romance, Love and Gelato. I managed to get 78 pages through. This 78 pages was an uphill battle. I had to sign up for a free audiobook on a website because I couldn't get through it. And I was like, surely this will help me get through it. I think it might have made it worse. I was going to try and push through to finish it for this challenge, but it just got to the point where I was like dreading opening the book and I hadn't picked it up in days. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever read. I just will not be continuing it. I think some YA romances target a younger YA audience. This is more high school age, I would say. And my high school years are far behind me, so I'm going to have to DNF this one. That being said, I've still managed to read 2 pretty good romance books this week. So I think we're ending the week on what I would consider a high note. These 2 books, they look cute together. I like these covers together. That is the thing about summer romances, I will say. They always have the cutest covers out of any books. That being said, the moment we've all been waiting for. Has reading summer romances for the past week rekindled my love for the genre? I think it has. I would say this was a good set of books to get me back into enjoying romances. So I will probably be picking up more romances from here on out. But for now, I'm going to take a break and read some other stuff. So thank you for watching. If you liked, maybe subscribe. And I'll be back with another video that hopefully you will also like sometime soon. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye.